Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the dumbbell alternating bent over row, and we're going to be taking a neutral grip with this exercise today. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your feet are inside shoulder width. Make sure that you're bending over at around a 45-degree angle or enough until the dumbbell is underneath your knees. And what you also want to do is make sure you maintain a flat back with your chin tucked and keeping your elbows tucked in as you row up. At the end of the video, we're going to go over some of the common mistakes that I want you guys to avoid so that way you can get the most out of this exercise while minimizing the risk. Another key thing that I want to point out is also allowing the scapula to move freely. We'll go over this a little bit more in detail in a few seconds, but what I want to make sure that you guys understand is that you're doing this in a slow and controlled fashion while allowing your back to actually engage. That's crucial. It's not just an arm exercise. But before we continue with more tips, here's a word from today's video sponsor.
I'm today's video sponsor, and if you'd like help losing fat or gaining muscle, there are a few ways I can help you down below. Either set up a free consultation with us, purchase through one of our free affiliate links, or purchase one of our instant access affordable training programs. Can't wait to be of service to you. Now let's get back to the rest of the video.
So like I said, let's talk about allowing the scapula to move freely. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you allow the stretch to take place. And I find that this is one of the common mistakes that most people make with this exercise, is that they don't allow their scapula to actually protract, meaning that they keep their back squeezed the whole time. And this is not an isolation exercise, and isolation exercises are not the most effective exercises to build muscle because they don't naturally move within the muscle's natural range of motion. So what you want to make sure is that you allow that to happen. So basically allow the shoulder to dip as you're going down in the arm that you're working. So allow it to dip and then allow it to contract when you're raising it up. And the only way to do that is by allowing the stretch to take place. If you don't, then your back's just going to be tense the whole time without allowing that stretch factor to take place. Another key thing that I want you guys to do is make sure that you keep your back flat, because if your back starts rounding, not only does that increase your chances of injury, but it also makes the exercise less effective because you'll have to reduce the amount of weight that you use, which is obviously going to reduce the amount of muscle that you can build and stimulate. So just make sure that you keep your form right, because this all makes sense the heavier you go. So obviously in this video, I'm not going heavy at all, but as you go heavier, you're going to want to make sure that your form is good, because if not, you're going to get injured. Another key thing that I want you guys to think about is also the tempo at which I'm doing it. So notice I'm not using momentum in order to get the weight up, and notice I'm not changing the angle of my back as I'm rowing up. So I'm not standing up every time I row. You want to just keep this angle of torso the same the whole time instead of changing it. So let's touch on some of the mistakes that I want you guys to avoid. First one is half reps. You don't want to be doing half reps at the top or the bottom of the range. Also make sure to keep your elbows tucked in. I think I touched on that before, but I just wanted to touch on that again. So here's a common mistake, is driving the elbows out with a neutral grip. I don't recommend it. Also keep your back straight. Do not round your lower back like this. Push your hips back and chest up. Make sure your chin stays tucked and is not elevated like this. And then lastly, allow the scapula to retract and not keep it protracted the whole time.